Hey y'all, how's it going? Oh man, I hope you guys are doing good. And if you're not, then I hope your day gets better. Um, so, you guys, I will say this. I gotta say this. So, I'm going over my podcast episode, and I'm already crying. I just wanted to read it to make sure everything looks good. I'm already crying. So, yeah. But it's good crying. It's it's a positive cry because I know that I am healing from sharing my story with you guys. So, um and it's a different type of cry. It's a cry of um seeing myself as a little girl, now being an adult. And so y'all are gonna understand. So give me 1 second, you guys. I gotta look at my glasses even have tears in them. So anyways, you guys, here I am, episode 4. And y'all, this is where I begin my story. So this is the part that I have been fearing. I had not been wanting to. Been trying to procrastinate. Is that how you say it? Procrastinate? But no more. But I will say, I know I mentioned this on my social media. I have been getting attacked spiritually. Evil has been using family members to attack me in all different sorts of ways. But I'm not going to stop this. I'm going to keep going because I know and I believe that I have a God that is my protector. And I go to God and I pray to God and I know He got me. And He's the one that told me to do this. So if He told me to do this, I'm going to do it. And yeah, He can go suck it. The evil can go suck it. That's all I'm going to say. To be nice about it. And not say another word. Another sort of word. But all right, you guys. So here we go. Let's get this started. This is episode 4. And as always, I start with the Bible verse. And for those of you who are joining for the first time, I like to say this also. I love writing, and I actually love to write out what my next podcast episode is going to be about, for a simple purpose that I can jump around in different areas and I could be all over the place. So it's a way of staying in a pattern and track, and it helps me also, so I don't have to jump around and be like, did I just repeat myself? Did I just say that? So, but it's also a form of therapy, me writing it out as I'm working through my podcast. As you saw, I was crying before even starting this episode because I was reading what I'm about to say today. But all right, you guys. So today's Bible verse is Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Today's title is The Girl Who Wasn't Protected When the Horror Began. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Luna Truth, Healing Out Loud. All right, y'all. Today's episode is one I've held close for a long time. It's the beginning of sharing my story. The one that started when I was just a little girl. A little girl who ended up not being protected when her nightmare began. But before I begin, I want to gently let you know that these next episodes contain sensitive and emotional content, including childhood trauma, abuse, and pain. So please take care of your hearts as you listen. Your healing matters more than anything. And if you need to pause or step away from this episode, it's okay. Because I also had to do that myself as I was writing this episode. So, hold on, guys. I gotta drink some coffee. So, I want to start off by taking some time to talk about where I came from, okay? Just a little bit. So, and who I was before everything changed. So, I was born and raised in California, And for a short period of time, I grew up in a home with my mom, my dad, and my little brother. We were a very religious family. We prayed together. We went to church. We served in the church. Anytime those doors were open, we were there. We gave money. We listened and followed the best we could the instructions of the church, of the pastor, of the leaders, however you want to call it. We did our best to follow the religious teachings. And I say religious teachings because as I go through these episodes, I learned that God is not religion. So we followed and we did everything in a very religious way. Okay. So now let me take a moment to share about who I am. Okay. Or who I was. Or I am. I still am. So I was a little girl who loved life, and I still do. Yeah, I still do. So yes, it might still be, I think some of this stuff is still me. So anyways, I was a little girl who loved life. I was very energetic, wild in the best way. A total tomboy. I love biking, skateboarding, and fishing with my dad. I loved the beach. I loved going to the mountains. I loved hiking. I was a little girl that you couldn't get me to wear dresses. I mean, I did wear them when I went to church, but I hated it. Hated wearing dresses. And I also hated having long hair. I like having short hair. Anyways, my dad did most of my raising, so maybe that explains a lot of my traits and the reason why I was a tomboy. I don't know. Or maybe I was wanting to be one of the boys so I can be around my dad more than anyone else. I don't know. I have no idea, but I loved being who I was. So yeah, I don't know. So I love climbing trees. I'd rather be climbing trees than playing with dolls. I loved watching Dodger games with my dad. I loved watching like boy cartoons with my dad. 'Cause my dad used to watch cartoons, actually, believe it or not. I remember him sitting down and watching Transformers. I also loved going to the park, and I loved laying on the grass and looking at the sky. I loved being in nature. Yeah, I did. I don't know what it is about nature, but it drew me close to them. But I also loved when I could lay on the grass and look up the sky, and I loved it when there was rainbows. Loved rainbows since I was a little girl. Actually, let me show you guys something. Hold on. This is how much I like rainbows. So, before I show you something, this was actually a gift that I actually always wrote for Santa to give me, or prayed to God to give me for my birthday or Christmas, and I never got one. But I ended up getting one a couple years ago, just recently, for my daughter, and y'all, I was bawling. But this is how much I love rainbows since I was a little girl. That I have a Rainbow Bright, you guys. Look at her. Look at her, y'all. I have a Rainbow Bright. Isn't she so pretty? Anyways, you guys, I love rainbows. So I always had a connection with nature. And for some reason, rainbows just is something I loved. I loved watching the clouds and trying to make shapes or trying to find like animals to create from that. The other thing, you guys, that I loved doing when I was a child is I love looking at the moon. And I will say this, that only very few people know this, but now I'm ready to share with the world, even if y'all think I'm crazy. It's all good. It's okay. So I looked up to the moon a lot. And ever since I was a little girl, every time I look at the moon, I was able and always to see a man's face on the moon. And still to today, it hasn't gone away. And for some reason, since I was a little girl, I believe that that was God's face on the moon. And so either it's true or not, I don't know, but still to today, I think it's God's face. So it's literally a man's face, long curly hair. And I know it's a man's face. Again, I can't explain it, but connected with nature. I just love nature. So I believe that life was big and beautiful. And I believe that one day I'd get to see it all. I still haven't yet, but I will. I know I will. Now, with that said, I didn't have a lot of friends, you guys. I actually got bullied a lot. Ugh, I hate this. I hate this. Sorry, guys. I got bullied a lot because I didn't act like a girl. And it's crazy. You know why, guys? Because, and I think this one just hits because even as an adult, some people still do that. It's crazy. Anyways, and then some of the boys also bullied me because I guess I could outdo them. You know, I could outplay them in sports. You know, I was very good at sports. And the girls never understood who I was, so I didn't have girlfriends. So actually, the only kids I truly got to hang out with, you guys, and be around with was my cousins. And my cousins bullied me too, but in a different way. You know, normal cousin bullying. So I'm very thankful and grateful I had cousins to hang out with because I never really had friends growing up. So it's crazy because it's like, it's hurting me now. I guess as kids, you know, we gotta have friends and stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I think different. So, but whatever. Anyways, stop because I'm gonna start crying. Be bawling. All right. So I actually always remember my dad telling me when I was a child, he said, "You are different. You must have been switched at birth." And he was right because I sure was different. I didn't feel that I fit in, and maybe I wasn't made to. But even as a child, you guys, though, I felt this deep need to make a difference, to help people, to love deeply, to chase life. I was a little girl with a big heart. I never had bad intentions or hate. I just had love and hope. That's who I was before the world tried to change me, before the hurt and the pain entered my life. So I want to go back to what I was saying as far as how we followed the teachings of the church to the best that we could. From the outside looking in, we seemed like a good church family. And in some ways we were. But as I grew older, I began to understand something that I couldn't put into words. At the time, I couldn't put into words at the time. Just because a family goes to church doesn't mean they're living in peace. Our home wasn't full of sunshines and rainbows. Our home was full of tension, silence, hurt, and anger. Now, to be clear, this is what I felt. This is what I saw as a little girl. This is what my eyes and ears and heart saw and felt. My mother was different at church than she was at home. At church, she smiled, she prayed, she led, she gave, she held me, she hugged me. But at home, I remember her being angry, jealous, short-tempered. She fought with my dad constantly. I didn't ever see my dad raise his voice at her. He was quiet. He stayed calm. He was gentle. Even when he was hurt, he never fought back. He just took it. I didn't understand why. I just watched. Most of my good memories happened, to be truthful, with my dad. He was very supportive in my sports. He loved me for who I was. He made me laugh. He gave me lots of affection. He spent lots of quality time with me. My mother fed me. She clothed me. And she made sure that I looked presentable. But love, warmth, a kind word, that wasn't something I remember getting from her. Only at church. I remember her abusing me more than she ever loved me. At least that's how I felt. Back then, I didn't understand why she was this way. But I do now. And I've done the work to understand her, to understand her childhood trauma, the pain that she endured. And I've made peace in my heart. I've forgiven her. But I won't pretend anymore or hide the fact that it took a toll on me. It definitely shaped me and affected me in so many ways. And I believe it shaped my father also. Because one day, something broke in him. And my dad picked up the bottle again. And he started to drink. But y'all, even then, even my dad drunk, my dad was never violent. He stayed submissive to my mother. He loved her. But she became even more cruel. She even began to get physical with him. And through all this, all I saw was my dad cry. He never fought back. He never yelled. He'd just cry and walk away. Gosh. Sorry, guys. This is good. This is not bad crying. This is good crying. Y'all, eventually my parents separated. And that's when things changed for me. That's when I became my mother's punching bag, emotionally, physically, and verbally. And not long after my dad and my mom separated, my mom met him, my stepdad. And that's when my life forever changed. That's when the real horror began for me. Yeah, I think this is where I stop. Yeah. This is where we stop. Yeah. Yeah. We'll continue this next week. For sure. Yeah, I can. You guys, as I said at the beginning, take care of yourselves, take care of your hearts. Yeah. So, okay. I do want to say this because I have this written here. And it says this. It says, you were never to be blamed. You deserve love. You deserve safety. It's crazy. It's so crazy, you guys. Yeah, we'll continue this episode next week, you guys. As I always say, I share my story in hopes to make a difference in one person's life. But I am also sharing my story as a healing therapy for me. And boy, is it being. It's not easy. This episode, wow, just seeing who I was, who I still am, but through situations, through people, through life, through hurt, through pain, I changed certain parts of my life. Or I just hid them. I don't know, but wow, you know how things can change us, right? So I did it, you guys. I shared the first part of my life. There's lots more to come for sure, but yeah. All right, you guys. This is the Luna Truth Healing Out Loud, right? So, y'all, don't forget to go like, to go subscribe, to go share, and go hit that reminder button so you don't miss an episode. Next week, episode will come out on Friday. So, just had a lot of things going on, and I had some plans yesterday already. So that's the truth. I made plans and I said, I'll do my podcast Saturday. That's the truth. So I pushed my podcast to Saturday, and that's a no-no, but it's okay. That shows that we're humans. So, but my episodes are every Friday. Now what I have to do is pick a time, right? So then everybody knows. So I'm learning. And thank you to all of you guys who keep reaching out to me to give me all these ideas. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the motivation. And thank you for giving me corrections or seeing what I can change. So every Fridays. And then now I have to pick a set time that my podcasts are going to come out. So that way we're all on the same page. Right? Right. All right, you guys. Y'all have a good day.